Hello, and welcome to another fabulous episode of Chocobo Dash. I, of course, am one of your hosts, Juxtaposition, and with me is my always trusty side cook.
Side cook?
Yeah, you're culinarian, right?
I'm everything, but okay, we'll take side cook.
Okay, side cook.
Yeah, Fusion X.
Fusion X. We have a wonderful show lined up for you today. We got Moogle outfits, we got dungeons, we got Fenrir.
What the hell is this?
Hello.
Hey.
Does somebody want to tell me what the hell's going on here?
It was all his idea.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that your show was kind of lacking.
I'm just catering. I'm not here for anything important.
He's my caterer.
I'm casting Shadow Flare.
All right.
I feel slightly slower now.
Okay, we'll be back in just a minute, guys. And we're back with, looks like we have two hijacking co-hosts on the show today for our 6-month anniversary. Welcome to the show, Juxta. Welcome to the show, Fusion.
Thank you.
So, we've got an interesting show lined up for you today with, as you know now, we have a couple of guests who kind of wandered their way in here. They're not even on our server, as you can tell by the cardboard cutouts.
You can see the
really good
you got my
cardboard.
better side on that picture.
Yes, we could tell that Juxta definitely drew his cardboard cutout.
It's a screenshot. My computer's very high tech.
It's
running it on an Apple,
cardboard.
too.
It's cardboard, dude. It's high quality, corrugated even.
Oh boy. Well then, why don't we dive into our first topic of the week? We actually recently found out that the FFXIV live letter is going to be streamed, but on top of that there is going to be a premium stream which includes the opening and closing ceremonies as well as being in high definition, and
It includes the Moogle outfit.
Oh, good.
Because
Thank
that's
you. Now I
what
don't
we
have to
needed. We needed more people with access to that so they could glamour it and just, ruin everybody's immersion.
My immersion.
There you go. I
And
did it
have
just
you
for you.
seen how many Makote are tanking in a bikini already? If your immersion ain't already...
All
your
those
immersion is broken.
first coil turn 9 clears coming in with people with like the snowman costume glamored. And,
well, if that's what it takes to beat turn 9, I guess I better bust out that
yeah, I've been
snowman
doing it.
outfit.
I've been doing it wrong.
Put on your King Slime hat, yeah.
Hey, I love that King Slime hat. We need more Dragon Quest stuff for crossovers. But yeah, for those of you who are not aware, the Moogle outfit was actually originally going to be for attendees for FanFest. The interpretation was that it was going to be exclusive. Now it's not, so there is a little bit of contention about this subject right now. For one, I support the idea of having the event, so to speak. I just think it was a little bit of a cash grabby kind of motion, the fact that they announced it with less than 2 weeks before the actual FanFest event.
It's strange that first it was so late. You would think that with as many tickets as they've been selling, this is going to be the largest event in North America that they've had for a fan festival. And then they wait this long to say, if you didn't get a ticket, here's an alternative. And then they announced it, 2 weeks before, without a price. The price is to be announced still.
Oh, God. I didn't know that part. That's not good.
I think part of this, though, is that this is just, as someone who covers a lot of other MMOs as well, this is kind of standard procedure. This is, and I think part of it was also, this is the first time Square has done anything like this. So for all we know, this is one of those things where they were in negotiations about, can we do this, pretty close to the time when they finally announced, yes, we're doing this. So I don't want to immediately rake them over the coals and say, obviously this is just a last-minute cash grab. I think there might have been some technical issues preventing letting everyone know right away. Not to mention, there is usually a pressure to if someone's on the fence, do I want to go? Do I not want to go? Oh, but I don't know if I'll be able to get this in-game doodad otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I really feel like the tipping point for most people was being able to get the in-game item, the virtual thing, over, going to Las Vegas or meeting a whole bunch of awesome people in person.
Now, don't get me wrong. Like I said before, and I've said this on the forums, I fully support the people being able to get this outside of going to the event. I just think that if they were going to do that, they should have at least said that they were looking into this, or this was going to be a possibility when the event was first mentioned. So that way people would have been like, okay, well, I could go and spend all this money to go to Vegas because I really just want the item, or I could stay home and watch the stream because all I'm interested in is the live letter.
Okay, but no, that's...
How messed up is your life if you're like, I want to spend
I can understand that there are probably some people that do
Google
this.
costume.
There are probably some people that are just going to be there just for the item. And
I mean,
I don't
me
understand
personally,
who wants a Moogle costume anyway, but...
Yeah, me personally, I'm going up to the merch booth and I'm just saying, give me one of everything. But,
hey, you're not getting ahead of me in that line because I demand that if there's an Ogress figure there, she's mine, and you can't have that.
it's not happening.
I will fight you tooth and claw for that.
You can have it because they won't have one.
Final Fantasy Tactics does not exist under Square Enix's rule.
But Final Fantasy Tactics Advance sure does. Boy, does it ever.
I hate that series so much.
Is it weird that I hated
it.
Tactics but liked Advance?
I haven't
No, because
played Advance,
Tactics
to be
Advance
honest.
is for simple people.
You start off by throwing snowballs, that's the best game ever.
You're making me actually want to try to see if I can find a copy, pick it up, and maybe let's play it on the channel.
It's really, it's pretty terrible. If you're used to playing Final Fantasy Tactics, it's pretty terrible.
I don't know. I've played a lot of different tactical games, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe if I can find a copy. But let's move on then to our next topic. We actually recently saw the dungeon previews, and Fusion, I do believe when I first saw this, it was actually up on your site.
Yeah, and before I saw it, people were tweeting about it because the Japanese media had access to all these images before we did. It was, oh, hey, look at this. And I'm like, oh, where was this? I didn't get a press email or anything. But yeah, Fenrir is going to be the boss for Snowcloak, which I'm pretty hyped for.
I know.
I feel like that's kind of a waste. I mean,
Well,
Fenrir-
actually-
So is, Diabolos in...
yeah, that's another waste.
Whatever that
What are
one
you
place
doing?
was called, or, Siren,
Township.
Pharaoh, Sirius.
The Lost City of Vandapur, I believe it was.
Yeah, Lost City
Yes.
of Amdapur. I'm sure when it's introduced, Typhon will probably be, a boss in a dungeon. But also keep in mind at some point, too, we're supposed to get those, those kind of roaming free company primals. And it's not to say that those are completely out of the question for that, I wouldn't think.
I like the idea that they're not, Siren and Fenrir and all that are not necessarily, occupying the same roles that they did back in Final Fantasy XI, because by and large, that is, what we've seen so far of the primals versus the avatars in 11. The correlation is pretty close, except for Carbuncle and Bahamut. So seeing, things like Siren and Diabolos and Fenrir, all these clearly very powerful creatures and very important, but we don't really know how they fit into everything yet. I kind of like that we're seeing them there as opposed to seeing them as, set up as potential summons or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Not to mention the fact that I'm actually more partial for Fenrir not to be a summon because of the fact that we already have a whole bunch of primals, and each of the primals is tied to an element, and there's only really 6 elements in 14. So unless they actually start bringing in the elemental wheel with multiple elements, I don't really see something like that changing in the near future. And Fenrir has only really had a major role in one game, and that was 11. Prior to that, I think he was a summon in 2 games and was small mobs in a couple, and a mech, I think, in 12.
Yeah, I think
Probably
it was
most of
airships.
the summons were, or the traditional summons, I should say, were ended up named after airships and stuff in 12. And then we had the weird, what were they, espers in 12? Yeah, and those are the Asians
they were
in 14. So
they were called something else.
No, they're not
Lucavi?
That was in Tactics. In 12, they were called Espers.
yeah.
Yeah, but there was something beyond that they were called in 12, not beyond being called espers.
Hmm.
Oh well, it's something for me to look up there.
Been a while since I played 12.
But
And it's not quite the espers are not the Asians, the other side, the children of light.
Oh, that's
Espers.
right. Yeah, so they're very closely related.
Yep.
it's interesting to see the parallels there, but we'll have to wait until 2.4 where we can dive into the lore on that one a little bit more.
I think Fenrir should be the moon elements, and scholars should be able to summon Fenrir as DPS.
DPS?
You keep on thinking that.
I don't think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, juxtaposition.
No, I agree. No, you know what? Actually, I'm going to agree with juxtaposition entirely, because from what I've seen of a lot of the way people will play scholars in pickup groups, that's actually, they were already basically queuing up to play DPS, so just say, screw it, fine. You were already letting Aos heal this anyway, so let's just take every pretense away.
Oh.
Yeah, but then if you take away Eos, then you have no healer if you have Fenrir out. Now, see, Fenrir is the DPS scholar, and then the scholar actually heals. You see?
Well, that's
It makes
exactly
sense.
Yes, but that's the thing, is that the scholar won't realize this, and man, why is everybody dying?
Yeah, the scholar doesn't know
What
how to
did I
heal,
queue
though.
up
That's
as?
the problem.
What did I queue up as? Ruin. Ruin.
You're doing
What should I
it
be
wrong.
doing
It's
here?
ruined too.
The Black Mage should cure using Physic. He's the new healer.
There you go.
Gods.
Every summoner's like dream in 11. Oh, main healing, great, cool.
Please, no, don't remind
Let me
me.
get right on that.
What the heck
Summon
is that?
was my first job to 75 and 11. Thank you very much.
You
I was
poor,
a glorified.
poor person.
I was
I'm
a
sorry.
glorified healing battery in ranger parties.
Oh, ranger parties.
Uh,
We
moving
did have two
along
other
though to the
dungeons.
other two dungeons.
Yes. We wound up talking about Fenrir and stupid
But
scholar tricks.
what do you guys think of Sasasha hard mode with what looks like combination of pirates and the psychodemons?
Yeah, those guys are interesting because if you look at them, their body is made up of the reavers that occupy it right now. So I'm getting like a really big like head crab kind of feel like off of these guys, like something came up and just kind of like attached themselves to their heads.
I remember looking at what looked like the Roganin, and it looks like his arm is actually made of tendrils.
Yep.
So I'm thinking it's more than head crab.
Really?
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought the
thinking-
odds are the same.
It looked like they would not have been out of place not too far from where I live. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Deep Sea Terror. I'm going to go with,
I don't
That which is
think I
not
want to
dead.
know where you live if that's like the norm.
If
Man,
that's
I'm
the
from New
norm where
England.
you
This
live,
is-
I don't want to know what kind of
this
books
is what
you
New
read.
England is like. It's just like, oh, look,
Oh, it's just
like
another day with Cthulhu sitting on the beach, that's all.
getting a fine crop of sea demons up this time of year. Far more than I thought we would. Boy, howdy.
But what do you think the story's going to be? Because, as we know, we already cleared out the pirates and the Sahagin that were there, so it's not one of them.
I think it's another gang that came in, right? Was the description that
That
they
was
gave?
the hint, but I think there might be more going on than that. I wonder if, it didn't start as someone else trying to take on the whole Mistbeard legacy and sort of getting corrupted.
Well, and keep in mind too, sometimes with these hard modes, you do go into previously unexplored areas. So just because we didn't see them before, they could have been there this whole time. They've just been, kind of off in their own little section.
This is true, because remember in Tom Tara hard mode, the boss that you fight with the Dullahan is actually where you fight the Psycho Demon in the original version.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So then that begs the question, how much farther in does this cave go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's not going to go much further because we basically took it to the coastline, right?
Yes,
so it's
but
gonna
I
be
do believe there was actually further passage down from that area.
along the coastline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Into
Okay.
the water. We get to go underwater this time.
Oh
That would be
God.
awesome.
That's the third expansion.
And then we've also got
Oh, great! Then
And
that
then
means
Karn
we need
is
to get
also-
Oxalale.
Karn is also here. Karn is our third dungeon, and I can't.
It's so weird because
Legends
they
of the
announced that,
Sunken Temple.
and so many people were like, "Oh no!" And I was like, "Sweet!" Like I want to see a new version of Karn because that's one of the
Everything-
civilizations that we really don't know a whole lot about.
This
I
is
want the
true.
bees
That's
to
true.
just start casting Final Sting as soon as they're pulled. Just have Final Sting, bees everywhere.
Everything final stings. Click a treasure chest, final sting. Walk in, final sting. Have it, log on, final sting.
No. You see, then I mean, people would get used to it.
You're
What
right.
you gotta do is you
Initial
gotta
sting.
have to have Final Sting, Mercy Stroke, Doom, and just have it rotate between them.
Now it does. I've seen some other images floating around that I honestly would not be surprised, and I could be wrong about this, but usually each new cycle of dungeons we have one that's a little more lighthearted than the others.
Yeah,
Like in we had Brayflock's hard mode, which was a fight over a cheese
Fantastic.
recipe,
yeah.
and we had
Hamtara for this next one. That was pretty
it was very very
happy go
lighthearted.
lucky.
I don't know if I'd say lighthearted. That was like the darkest storyline they've had in the
Yes,
game
that
yet.
That was the joke.
That was
That
beautiful,
was the
though.
joke.
That was actually
I
That's
love
the
that.
that was
joke.
amazing.
I love that.
But we had Hullbreaker in this most recent patch cycle, and for some reason I cannot think of 2.1's dungeons right now.
Pharaoh
Copper-
Sirius.
Yeah, it was Pharaoh Sirius.
Copperbell, Pharos, and what was the other one? But the point is that I wouldn't be surprised if Karn was a little bit more, adventure-y. Like, we're going ruin exploring. Get
Hawk
out
Manor.
your whips.
Hawk Manor.
That's
the
it.
other hard one. But yeah,
Maybe get out your whips and oh God, why did it have to be snakes? Let's go adventuring. Let's go.
right. Yeah, and
exploring.
they have that image too from Karn where it's showing you fighting giant cactars with helmets and like clubs. So I'm thinking, yeah, this is probably gonna be that one.
Oh man, are we gonna fight Jumbo Cactar?
It looks like we're fighting
Cactar
Jumbo Cactar. Yeah.
Okay.
We need to have a giant Cactar with a mustache. He needs
Maybe
to
the
have...
maybe the mid boss is like the cactar like barbershop quartet. We got their like, little hats on, their mustaches.
But what was it? Was it Jumbo or Gigant Cactar that had the giant curly mustache?
That's usually Cactuar King that has it.
I think it was Jumbo Cactar in Final Fantasy VIII, but I think
Yeah. That's the one I always think of.
we are discussing Cactar genealogy throughout the Final Fantasies.
Yep. and the facial hair thereof. Really makes no logical sense if you think about it anyway, because they're plants, they wouldn't grow hair. But anyway.
Maybe they're
Look,
needles in a specific
It's
pattern.
a fantasy game. You just kind of have to go with it.
Oh man, that's ridiculous. But speaking of other things that are kind of ridiculous, when this episode airs, FanFest is going to be underway at this point because it's little. When this episode airs, it'll actually be
Just 2 days, yeah.
it'll be a week, a little less than a week after this episode airs from when FanFest starts. I can't believe that. I'm still in shock about that.
I think I might be the only person on this podcast who is not going to be there.
No.
Oh, I'm not going either.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
but
gonna be on
nobody
my-
wants to see you there, though, Juxta.
It's not about
Yeah,
people
nobody really
seeing
wants to see me either.
It's about
Aw.
me being amazing.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I saw Jex's pictures with the LBR swag. He looked
Oh,
pretty.
yeah.
He looked pretty swag with that.
I was pretty swag.
I don't know. The cat in the picture was more swag, mind you.
Well, I mean, that's Muphilia. I mean, there's no more swag than Muphilia. That's my cat.
Garrus might give her a run for her money.
Mass Effect names? No, doesn't count. Besides,
Yep.
Kahlo has his cat's name as Tally Zora, so...
Yeah,
Doesn't-
that's my other cat, Tally.
Oh my
You
god.
just like walk around
Tally-
with like a mask
Tally
the whole day.
Garrus.
If
You
you can
are-
see the face. It doesn't work. There's no mystery. It's like, oh, it's a cat. All right. I guess we know.
What if the cat is
As
wearing
opposed to
pants?
what else did you think? Huh? I can't.
Well, she could have been like a
Gotta-
cat. lady.
It's got a
like,
mask
saw
on,
her
but
face.
it could be paws, tail. I see everything. It could be anything really.
It could be a cheetah. It could be a cactus with a mustache.
That
You
is a
don't know.
cat. That is a cat.
But maybe it's a cat with a mustache. That's like a whole different thing.
Oh, Senior Meowkins.
Whiskers.
It's Senior Meowkins.
Maybe the cat has a sombrero underneath the mask, like a tiny one.
That's a huge mask or a very, very
Yeah,
tiny
that's not
sombrero.
really-
A tiny sombrero.
Does the cat put on the tiny sombrero and then play the world's tiniest violin?
No,
he plays
no,
maracas.
they
Or
have
the
played the
tiny,
world's
world's
tiniest-
tiniest maracas?
There's no reason for a tiny sombrero. The whole distinguishing characteristic of a sombrero is its size.
But therein
That's like
lies
tiny
therein
jumbo
lies
shrimp.
the perfectness of the tiny sombrero. You're expecting a giant sombrero. It's a tiny one. Your
But
mind is
that's
blown.
that defeats the entire purpose of having it be a sombrero. Now you
That's-
just have a
that's
tiny
the
little
joke.
hat.
That's the joke. Man, what is with you people? This is like, I got gold, and you're like, but then you can't do that.
You don't have
He's living
gold.
up to your rep there.
Ugh. You don't have gold. You don't even have fool's gold. You have some rocks that you spray painted a kind of yellow color.
It's not paint.
And what does this even have to do with Final Fantasy anymore?
We're talking about
Cactuses
cats and
with
tiny sombreros.
mustaches.
What doesn't that have to do with Final Fantasy?
Because we
You're
don't
right,
have
it
sombreros in
must.
14 yet.
No, we don't have some. There are other things we don't. We don't have gimp suits in Final Fantasy.
You know,
14.
I was trying to think of questions for Yoshida at FanFest. Sombrero, I think, it might make the cut. We'll see.
Man, it's gonna be the new cheese sandwich.
If we can glamour, really ugly Moogle costumes and snowman heads. I want a sombrero and some let's get some like parody weapons, right? We'll get like a broom for lancers. We'll get some maracas for
Guys,
Rogue and Ninja.
Guys, we're missing the obvious one here: luchador costumes.
Okay,
only
now
only
hold
for
on.
Rogue and Ninja.
Ow.
Where will this fit in the lore? Because there has to be a lore reason.
Festive gold saucer cosmetic rewards.
As it turns out, Karn, culture of luchadors.
Oh my god.
History is
Would
stupid.
you call them carnivores then?
Ah.
I feel like that's too close to carnivores.
Yeah,
I feel like
That's-
there might be some confusion there.
but
No, that's
you can get a new culinarian recipe there: chile con carne.
That's terrible.
Oh man.
Yes, but delicious.
All right.
Okay.
Before we close out for the day, we do have one last announcement to make. Since this is our 6-month anniversary, and I have two wonderful guests here, we are going to actually have a screenshot contest. The rules are very simple. Just tweet out to either myself or Elliot with the hashtag Chocobo Dash a screenshot of your character or situation, and I'm going to let our two guests determine what are the two different situations. Jaxta?
I'm still speechless that you thought we were wonderful.
I was gonna pipe up and interrupt you. I was gonna say I understand me. I'm wonderful, but I don't know who the other person is. Is it the camera guy?
Ooh.
Is he the wonderful one?
The camera guy.
The camera guy.
Wow.
Camera guys never get enough recognition.
Recognition. Well,
I'll give it to the camera guy.
okay. All right. So me, wonderful Juxta, and wonderful camera guy. Okay. What was the question? I get to choose something.
Yes. For the screenshot contest, you get to pick one of the types of screenshots, like a theme.
A theme. Chili con carne. That won't work.
That's not
Wait, can
going-
they edit the screenshot?
No.
No.
Oh. Hmm.
That just turns into like a sombrero photoshopping contest then.
Did you guys see the picture of when Yoshi did that live letter in Japanese? The guy was live streaming it, and the guy was putting like sombreros on his head and like covering the bosses with pizza.
Yeah, I watched that for about 5 minutes and then found another stream.
Oh man, I wish. Man, that sombrero was great.
Okay.
All right. Anyway,
Yes.
let's see. What should the theme be? How about?
If you say chili con carne again,
No, it's past. It's past. How about the best action shot you have of being awesome?
Best action shot of being awesome. Okay.
Yes. And you can't be petrified or frozen. That's not awesome. That suck.
I don't know, some of those poses, man.
The poses are great, but that's not awesome.
Why isn't there, like, I was frozen while fighting Skilla Tumbler yet? Like, that should be a thing. Just pictures of people being frozen.
I have a picture of me doing a flip in midair being frozen.
Right? Like, that's awesome.
That's cool. That's not awesome. It also qualifies as radical, but not awesome. We're looking for awesome.
Oh, okay.
I will accept awesome. I will accept cool and radical.
Okay, and fusion.
Oh, let's see.
You're diluting it.
I was gonna say mustaches, but we need to include the ladies. I'm gonna go with cactuars.
Okay.
All right, now can it be cactar earrings?
No.
Is a cactar earring a cactar?
It depends. Like,
It would have to be really
a
close up
cactar?
then, because you can't really see it if it's far enough away.
Now you can
Just
dress up as a
cactars.
cactuar.
It's a very broad thing. Just cactars.
You can dress up as a cactuar. You
There you
can
go.
be around other cactuars. You can wear a cactuar earring, dress up
You
as a
can
cactuar, be around
dead
other
with
cactuars.
like 20 cactuars on top of you.
Yep.
Wait, pause. I have a new one. Forget whatever I said before.
Okay.
Your best picture of Yo Sheep.
Best picture of Yo Sheep. All right.
You might have to explain that.
You guys don't know Yo Sheep?
Not everybody will.
All right, well, I'll explain it for everyone. Everyone at the LBR crew have decided that Yoshi P's new nickname is, well, you just take up the space and it becomes Yo Sheep. And now you just say Yo Sheep, and the sheep. And
So sheep.
so your best
sheep.
best screenshot of a sheep has to be awesome.
So
So
sheep and cactuar. There
sheep
you
and
go. people.
cactuars. And that's why
Yoshi.
we'll never be on this show again.
Aw, man. Hey, man, can bribe you with some
asked
Final
for this.
I'm sure I can persuade you with some Final Fantasy VIII merchandise, but we'll see. But yes,
And I'd pay someone to take that away from me.
thanks for joining us, you two.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
All right, so as always, you can leave any positive or negative comments in the box below. Like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm Nell Celestine.
And I'm Elliot_Lefebvre.
Jackster, do you
And
have...
I am juxta space position.
No, Fusion X.
So, as always, bidding you
Adieu.